When did your wife's business close?
Not exactly sure exactly when.
A little after the order was in place, correct?
Are you currently working?
No, sir.
And how long have you not been working?
A few months now.
And how many other dependents do you have?
3.
And are they your biological children?
Yes.
And there was an agreed temp order signed in October of 2022 where you submitted your 2021 tax info. Is that correct?
I think so, sir.
So the temporary orders set child support, basically it was deviated to $500 per guideline. Our guideline was 688 and you guys agreed to deviate to 500. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that was effective November 1st of 2022. Also, the medical support reimbursed to the state was $60. Oh, never mind. That wasn't reimbursed to the state. It was reimbursed to Ms. Rodriguez. And that was effective November 1st of 2022 also. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you were requesting that to change. Is that what you're requesting the court to do?
Yes, sir. If I'd be able to commit myself to 400 to make sure I paid on time.
And so did you start a new business?
My wife had did, but we tried. It ended a few months back. They shut down that company that we're doing work for.
Okay, so basically you're unemployed right now. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm doing odd jobs. Cutting grass, a little bit of pressure washing.
And how much do you make?
So far, last month it was about. Sorry, put my phone church. That one was like 300. The month before, it's probably around 800.
So what would you say you have make average a month?
From 5 to 9, in between there.
Per month?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right now, my wife's working.
Do you have any evidence of how much you make?
I don't, sir. They just pay me cash. It's just like yard to yard, or my neighbor, she's elderly, and I'll go cut her grass and stuff like that.
Okay, so you said you were in agreement to pay $400 a month?
Yes, sir.
And that's child support, correct?
Yes, sir. I've tried to put medical insurance on him, but like our court agreement says that she gets file him 1 year. I filed him 1 year.
File, but what do you mean by file him?
Well, I know we're supposed to take turns like filing him.
Are you talking about for tax?
Yeah, well, I mean, because I tried to get insurance on them, and they says because what was it? Yeah, because I don't have like under income tax. Like, I guess they're saying like I don't have proof that he's my son or something like that. Because I tried to put medical insurance on him.
And who is that through?
Marketplace.
Oh, so it's a private source?
Yes.
And you said you can't get it done. Okay, I have no further questions for him at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Muzquiz, I need a little bit of more information. We were here in October, if you remember.
Yes, ma'am.
In October, we were here and both of you all agreed to go downward a little bit from the guidelines. And it was supposed to be $588, I think, and you all agreed to $500 a month. Who were you employed with in October?
I'm employed to my wife, how she had the like 2 workers. I was employed, I guess, her company that we tried to get with, like, to start up.
So when you were not here in October, you were employed by your wife,
Yes.
and now you're not employed anymore?
No, ma'am. The company that did give us a chance to work, they shut down.
What kind of work was it?
Maintenance. It was maintenance, like oil field maintenance, battery tanks, spills, removing old valves, installing new
All right,
valves.
and how long had that business been in place? When we came in October, how long had you all had that business?
Few months,
Okay,
probably about 6 months.
prior to that, where were you working? Prior to working for your wife, where were you employed?
I was with Odessa Pumps.
Okay, was it the same type of work, maintenance?
No, ma'am. This was working on sewer pumps and water pumps.
All right, so when did your wife's business close?
Not exactly sure exactly when.
Well, we're
3 months before.
May the 2nd right now, and we were here in October. So October of last year. So was your wife's business open all the way up through December of last year?
Yes, ma'am. I think that's when it
All right.
started. Like it started going downhill, like December.
A little after the order was in place, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then was your wife's business open in January of 2023?
Barely. It was like 1 day a week around there.
And so since your wife's business has closed, you've been doing this landscaping and all that?
Yes, ma'am. I applied at quite a bit of jobs at Indeed, but some are just like one of them I applied for was like in Alaska, but I mean I got no business being in Alaska. All the families here.
Well, did you apply for any other oil companies that will give you the same type of work that your wife had for you?
Yes, ma'am. But there wasn't really any saltwater disposals, is what more or less like what they call them, and they're not really a big thing. We had just got lucky at the time, but I have applied for gauging lease operators. I applied what I used to do back in the years, lease crew, to be a lead foreman.
And where did you apply?
Applied on Indeed.com.
All right, and when did you apply?
I gotta look back. I have them all, like when I've been applying, and then I mean I'm pretty sure it don't count, but I called a lot of buddies and all that, see if they get me in.
All right, and right now you say you're doing odd jobs and you bring in approximately $800. Is that a week or a month?
Well, it's like a month. It's like from here to there.
Ms. Rodriguez, do you have any questions that you want to ask him?
No, I don't.
I can barely hear you, Ms. Rodriguez.
No question.
All right. Mr. Feist, any other questions that you have of Mr. Muzquiz?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any other witnesses, Mr. Feist?
Yes, stay would call Ms. Rodriguez.
Okay.
Ms. Rodriguez, what is your full name?
Chanel Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, you heard Mr. Marquise's testimony. And you did sign an agreed temp, or there was an agreed temp order in October of 2022, is that correct?
Yes.
Where you guys agreed to those figures?
Yes.
And you heard Mr. Marquise's testimony on that he can afford $400 a month. He can agree to $400 a month child support. Were you in agreement to that?
No.
And could you state to the court why?
I asked for 50.
Mr. Fives, before we go any further, what calculations are you getting? I guess based on
Well-
what he's saying, I know he's saying he agrees to pay 400, but what is the calculation based on what he's earning with the odd jobs?
Well, I believe they were going to set it at minimum wage calculation, Your
Right,
Honor.
so what is the minimum wage?
Let me check real quick.
We'll be with you in a minute, Ms. Rodriguez. I just need some calculations, okay?
Okay.
And while you do that, Mr. Fives, Mr. Muzquiz, so when we were here in October, what was the name of your wife's business?
Delta Specialty Services.
All right, and at that time, you might have answered this, but I'm not sure. At that time, when we were here in court in October, how many months had that business been in existence?
I think like 5-6 months, man.
All right,
Your Honor, child support for minimum wage and with his 3 other children would be $135 a month at minimum wage calculation.
that's 135 a month.
Yes,
all
Your
right.
Honor.
And Mr. Muzquiz, you were asking, or you were agreeing that you could pay 400 a month, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and Ms. Rodriguez, were you in agreement to 400, or I think you said you were requesting 450?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I can agree to 400.
You can or cannot?
I could.
Okay, Mr. Muzquiz, I don't have any problems with the 400, given that the minimum is 135, but under the prior order, remember, under the prior order at that time, you had certain wages, which all of a sudden, it sounds funny that you quit or the job is gone all of a sudden, right, when we had to come to court. But at that time, you all had agreed your child support amount should have been 588, but you all agreed to take lower. So
ma'am.
the court can set child support at 400 beginning June 1st, Mr. Muzquiz.
Yes, ma'am. I had, well, like from all the 14 years, ma'am, this is the only, like this year, how he's 14 now, is the year like I've actually done real bad. Like I've always kept up with child support. I think I missed like 3 or 4 hours behind, but I caught up all the years. Like I've been on time with just about all of them, all these other years.
All
It's
right,
just really this hard. Like really, I am going through hard times right now.
okay, well, we'll set child support at 400 beginning June 1st. The cash medical, Mr. Feist, is that a government cash medical of 60
That's
or
uh,
reimbursement?
no, it was reimbursement to Miss Rodriguez.
All right.
That's what I was going to ask. Can I talk to Miss
Yes.
Rodriguez? Okay. Miss Rodriguez, how are the children covered, or how is the child covered for medical right now?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
And that's through another source or through your
Yes,
employer or what?
No.
And how much is that for one child?
It went up to $90.
And that's
$94.
just that's $94 a month,
Yeah, a month.
and that's just for the child, correct?
Yeah, just for Shane.
That would be over his reasonable amount based on minimum wage, Your Honor. So
All right, well, what is the 9%?
9% would be $28
All
with
right,
his given credit for the other 3 children.
all right. Ms. Rodriguez, what that means is the family code states that I can order him to reimburse you but I can't go above 9% of his gross. He's agreeing to pay 400, even though it's supposed to be 135. He's agreeing to that. That's fine. But the 9% is at $28. I don't want you to change your insurance if you don't want to. You can hold on to that insurance. It just means that you would have to pay the difference. Do you understand that?
Yes, I can do that.
All right, I'm not going to touch the insurance. As the judge, I think it's best to leave the child insured where they're insured right now. I don't want to move that. So the only thing we're going to do is set the cash medical at 28. That's also beginning June 1st, Mr. Muzquiz.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's
Ma'am?
it. Yes.
Oh. No, well, I tried to get the health, I guess the health insurance card, like when I take him to a doctor, but I never get a response. So me and my wife pay our own pocket every time we take him to the doctor because he's always sick.
But that's your other children. That's not this.
No, it's that one.
Okay, you take him to the doctor, or Ms. Rodriguez does.
No, I do. When he's with me,
Right.
or even during the week, like he's sick, me and my wife will take him to the doctor. We paid out of pocket.
That's fine. You can do that, but see, she's still paying the premium on the insurance. And she can't stop paying the premium because then the insurance will be discontinued.
Yes, ma'am. Because I tried getting oh, sorry.
Yeah.
She may not be able to pay cash or out of pocket. So
Yes, ma'am.
it's $28 you have to reimburse her. She's gonna get the Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's gonna remain in coverage. If you take him to the doctor and she hasn't minded, Ms. Rodriguez, apparently what he's telling me is that when your child is sick, he takes him to the doctor and pays for it. I don't think she's gonna object to that. But
like I've tried to put him on insurance also as well, but they say it's because I don't have any how do I say it?
well, I can put it in the court order. I can put it in the court order that you're obligated to provide health insurance, and that's all you need. You take that court order and you take it to whatever insurance company, but I'm not going to do that right now if you don't have any information as to what insurance company.
The marketplace.
Yeah, what kind of coverage? Is it better than the one she has? Right now, she has Blue Cross Blue Shield. And Ms. Rodriguez, how long have you had the child insured with Blue Cross Blue Shield?
I think since 2021.
Yeah, we're going to keep that insurance. And we're only asking for a reimbursement of $28, Mr. Muzquiz. I find that very reasonable. And she's going to put in the rest. So I'm not going to change the insurance company. I'm going to let her have the authority and the right to have the child insured with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe that in the order it does state that whoever has the insurance should be supplying a card to the other party, if I remember right.
Okay. What he means, Mr. Muzquiz, is
If
Now that
the
you
child
know-
is covered, yes, if child's
Right.
covered under insurance,
now
And
that
if
you
he-
know that she has Blue Cross Blue Shield, she can give you the card so that you don't have to pay cash or out of pocket when he gets sick. If you're going to take him to the doctor when you have possession of him, you should be using Blue Cross Blue Shield. But
Yes, ma'am.
maybe you didn't know about it, but Ms. Rodriguez, you can provide him with a card, right? Just ask your insurance company to give you an extra card.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I had spoke to the lady before, and I told her that I don't even have her number, Chanel's number.
All right. Ms. Rodriguez, if you can just provide a card to Mr. Muzquiz, so that way he can use it if the child gets sick. Do you have any questions,
Okay.
Ms. Rodriguez?
No. Well, Shane's already in the system at the doctor's office. His
Okay.
insurance.
Great. Well, what doctor is it? He knows what doctor, right?
Dr. Doria.
All
and
right.
Carita.
And Mr. Muzquiz, you live in Carrizo, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you take your child to that doctor, they already have the insurance card and the number and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
So if anything, you have to pay a copay or something like that. Well, she's probably been paying the copay when she takes him. So it'll be a lot less than out-of-pocket expenses. Just take him to the family doctor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you all want, we can put in the order that any communication should be done by the app Close. There is an app that you download for free. It's called Close, CLOSE. And that way you can communicate. So what you do is if you need to take him to the doctor, you just communicate that way. And Ms. Rodriguez can tell you exactly the name of the doctor, and that way it won't be a problem, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any questions, Ms. Rodriguez?
No, what was the app called?
Close, just like it says, CLOSE, close,
Okay,
okay?
got it.
All right, then that'll be the ruling of the court. The court will sign the order electronically. Unless you have any questions, you all are excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Ms. Rodriguez.
Thank you.